Hello? Oh, here we go again.
Yep. Okay,
Hello?
I'll get them printed.
Hello?
Good afternoon, Cheryl. It's Mike Tucker. How have you
Hi.
been?
Good. How about you? Good.
Good. I gotta just ask Lisa a question. I don't want to push the wrong button here.
Okay. I know. I'm going to try to put you on speakerphone too. No. All right.
It actually has to be sent to it.
Hello?
Hello.
Darn it. Hello? Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello? Did I get the
Hello?
wrong one?
Can you hear me?
Is this Mike?
Yes.
Is this Mike?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Who's this? Oh,
It's Cheryl.
hi, Cheryl. Hi, Sam. Lisa? Should I send them to you or
Send who?
the documents that Chris needs us to print to
Yeah,
the
send it.
board? What people do before they had all this stuff, they had to be ready when they got started. Hi, Mayor. Hey, Dan.
Hello, Mike. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, okay. It's Cheryl back. I disconnected you guys.
Okay, can you see us?
No, I had a call in.
Okay, you're on the phone. Okay.
Yes.
All right, we have some guests. We have the council president. We have the representative from the Register Star. We're just assembling here as we check people in with our sign-in sheets and contact tracers and temperature gadgets. I'm going on mute, so if someone does look for me, it'll take me a minute to get back to you.
found out she'd been in that corner for 6 years. We saw an email come through that said 30 plus animals in need of rescue. When I arrived and walked in the bedroom, I saw her in the corner and her little eyes just looking up at me for help. She stared into my soul.
Could we please ask you to go on mute? And Tom, could you hold the paper so we all can read it?
I know, I started getting nervous.
Hi, Roger, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Rebecca and Cheryl, are you both on the call?
Yes.
Yep, Rebecca.
Great. Okay, Madam Chair, you have a entire board is present under the new state law that was passed and signed by the governor last week that allows remote participation as well as in-person participation in public meetings.
Thank you.
We can't hear the board if the board is talking.
Hold on. We're getting the camera for the live stream. Just be a second, then we'll have to begin the formalities. Okay. We were just going through getting the live stream camera going so that we can record and start the meeting. And we've taken the Zoom participant or taken the board off mute, so you'll be able to hear us shortly. Live now. Chris Shell is just reviewing documents and will be right in. And we would ask all the board members in person to speak up because it's a computerized microphone.
So we will officially begin our IDA meeting at 1:04 now that we are live streaming. And we will start off with attendance of the members. So starting with Heather Campbell.
Here.
John Cody.
Here.
Myself here. Kamal Johnson.
Here.
Cheryl.
Yes, here.
Richard Wallace.
Here.
And Rebecca Wolf.
Here.
Thank you. Now beginning with the IDA meeting, we will start off with accepting the minutes from the September 1st meeting. Is there any discussion? Moving on, may I have a motion to accept the minutes
I so
for
moved.
Richard Wallace,
I'll second.
John Cody second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to projects Depot District at 75 North 7th Street and 75 North 7th Street approval resolution. 708 State Street project, 708 State Street approval resolution. Before we move forward with that, is there anything, Mike, anything else?
Madam Chair, as each member of the agency is aware, you received copies of the draft resolutions last week. Council for the IDA and the developer have been reviewing those. There are some modifications which council will walk you through, but they are and you have copies now or shortly, Lisa? Okay. We'll have the copies in a moment of the changes. They're minor, but the council will walk you through them. And they
Mike-
are to the
Mike, can I
documents that you received last week, and we'll
Mike,
email them to Rebecca and to Cheryl.
Mike, can I interrupt 1 second? I got on Zoom, so I'm gonna hang up and I'm under Hudson. That's me.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
She switched from the phone system to Zoom. Chris, are these the documents you sent me?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go through, there's one
Okay.
thing that got deleted that shouldn't have.
Okay.
But you should use those. I can go through them if you
I'm
want.
just gonna send them to,
Recording in progress.
So I can go through them verbally. I mean, I can.
because you have the other copy in front of you.
I can tell you what the changes are, and then we'll get them in front of you before you take an action.
They just want us to speak up because they can't hear us.
Okay, okay. All right, so, and so that's Cheryl and Rebecca on Zoom, and then, okay. So Madam Chair,
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to make a statement before we go into this.
Yes.
So, given some of the public comment, that I am a mentor from the Galvin Foundation, I spoke to the council as well as Rochelle, the council for the IDA. I did not feel that, I have conflict of interest or have any financial gain from voting on this, but in order of fairness, I will recuse myself from the vote.
I sampled opinion from a number of people and I heard topics and
Yeah.
I reached a very different determination.
Yeah,
But I respect your decision.
most attorneys said that they didn't feel like it was, but it proceeds.
Sometimes it is.
so Mayor, in that process, then I would ask you to
Yeah.
step out and then come back, somebody will come back and get you when that item is concluded for the rest of the agenda.
Thank
So, Madam Chair, we have a couple of changes that were requested by the applicant primarily to put in the record some of the things that they've talked about.
We can't hear what just happened, just so you guys know.
So the mayor stated that he was recusing himself. He does not feel that he has a conflict of interest, but he, in order to avoid controversy over his participation, he's chosen to recuse himself from this voting. Here, proceed.
Yes, please.
So in the whereas provisions of the resolution, I'm on starting with 75 North Fifth.
Chris, you're gonna have to.
Okay.
Check one.
In the whereas provisions, there's an additional paragraph which recognizes language in the 2018 Strategic Housing Action Plan that recommend the city facilitate and support development of fixed income housing. And includes findings that there's a growing disparity between wages earned in the local economy and housing costs. The gap forces some residents to share housing, which may lead to overcrowding or to live further away from employment centers, driving up transportation costs. In order to increase the number of housing options for local residents and to avoid warehousing any one demographic, a mixed income approach toward housing production must be implemented. New housing development must be accomplished with transparency and with the establishment of collective partnerships to create professional development teams to facilitate construction of a wide range of housing options, serving a range of incomes. New development needs to incorporate smart growth principles. The 2018 Strategic Housing Action Plan includes the following as an identified action step: to build new rental housing to serve a wide range and mixed income levels, household sizes, and populations, including senior family supportive, transitional and market rate. And such development should include mixed uses, create walkable neighborhoods, and a range of housing opportunities and choices, foster distinctive, attractive communities with a strong sense of place. So those are findings that were taken from the 2018 Housing Action Plan and would be reflected in the board's resolution. So if you have that, you have this one in front of you now, this 75R7. Okay, so that's in the whereas clauses. And the next whereas clause change, you'll see black line on the page 4, is a recognition of the adoption of the secret findings last night by the planning board as lead agency. And Michael, did you circulate the neg deck to the board?
Yes.
Okay.
The negative deck is in your packet, I believe.
So then you have a copy of that to refer to. So the planning board took that action, so you're now in a position to be able to consider the project. And then the next change is on page 7. I'll first say that the change to section K that you see here is an error. That should be back in. So K is in. That was an unintentional deletion. Just got carried away with the typing. So section J and section K, again, these are findings that reflect the references to the 2018 Strategic Housing Action Plan and consistency with the city's comprehensive plan, and states that the project revitalizes a distressed neighborhood by replacing underutilized single-family residences that are neither architecturally nor aesthetically significant with a newly constructed mixed-use building designed to reflect the historic character of Hudson. Additionally, the project will have a beneficial impact on open space and recreational resources as it will create publicly accessible urban park spaces. Findings are proposed by the applicant to reflect in part changes or findings that were also made by the planning board last night. Then the next change is on page 8.
Excuse me.
Pardon me.
You said,
K stays in. So if no financial assistance.
both of them are.
Oh, that's the problem. Okay, so that would become K, the second K will become L and L will become M. There we go. That's probably why that got. Okay. So we'll make those corrections in the secretary will make those corrections in the final. And then section 3, we've added language to specifically cross-reference the special project conditions that are in Exhibit 1. And they were referenced in here, but we have to make sure that the final approval specifically references these project conditions. And then we go to the project conditions, and these are the same as what we talked about last time, except that we've provided some, I guess I will call it clarification. So we've added a section on pilot term. Full taxes are to commence in year 31. Year 1 commences following the base period. And the base period described below will be from the date of effective exemption until the earlier of the completion date or completion deadline. So prior to the effective date of the exemption, the applicant is required to submit the application for exemption, file the correct forms with cooperation of the agency, because the agency will have to sign them. This will occur after the closing, because the closing typically will happen when they have their lender financing, but we close together with the agency's agreement to take the interest in the property and lease or submit an installment sale and back. So all of that will happen at the same time. Then they will have to file the exemption application under the, with the assessor. So there's a lag in the period for tax exemption. Until that time, the applicant will be required to pay full taxes on the value at the time. So whatever the value is in the normal course of events, that will apply. And then the 30-year pilot term will start basically after they are complete with construction. So there's a lag in when that 30-year period starts, okay? So that's what this is, that's what these changes are about. And that, I believe, is it on this one, except for just a couple of edits. So then on the next one, on the 708 state, I could take you to that one. So we have on page 2, we have a change there to clarify that Washington Street parking lot is not entitled to any financial assistance. They want to clarify from the agency because the purpose of this finding was to say, you don't get tax exemption from us with respect to this project. You don't get mortgage tax exemption or whatever. But that doesn't mean they couldn't get financial assistance in some other way. So they wanted that to be clear. So the next change is page 3. So that's the same finding that we just read in the other one about the reference to the strategic housing action plan. And then page 4 at the bottom, that is again the same change we just did on the other one with respect to findings regarding the lead agency secret determination. So that's that. And then we go to page 7. And again, we have the 2 changes in J and the new K that refer to the comprehensive plan and the findings about the project. And then you see the crossed out language at the end of that paragraph that says if no financial assistance is provided, the project will not be undertaken. That needs to stay back in. That was not intended to be deleted. So that's our new L, and L becomes M, just like the other one. So that will need to be added back in. And the next change is at the top of page 9, same as the other one, specifically referencing the special project conditions in Exhibit 1. So this Exhibit 1 for this project, we have a similar on page 12. We'll take it to page 12. We have a similar description of the pilot term. In this case, it's a 20-year pilot agreement. So that again starts after the completion date and after the tax exemption becomes applicable. That is it. Are there any other questions about the text of the document? You now all have a copy in front of you, I believe.
We also reviewed the consultant's fiscal analysis report, and the valuation was done with respect to the pilot starting when the project was ready for occupancy. And in the interim, taxes as provided in the resolution would be paid based on current assessment.
Are there any questions from the board? We're going to proceed with the vote. Let's start with #75 North 7th Street project.
And Madam Chair, I will call for a motion. You'll want to call for a motion. Second.
Sorry, can you speak up more?
Madam Chair, I just indicated that she would want to call for a motion and a second.
To proceed with the vote.
Ask for discussion.
Right, 12. Right.
Is there any discussion before we proceed, or just make the motion first, you say?
Make the motion first and then you ask for discussion.
And I have a motion and a second.
So
Proceed
moved.
with the vote.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Okay, so we'll proceed with the roll call vote. I'm going by what's on the paper with here, so say I'll vote last as chairman. John Cody. Heather Campbell.
No.
Kamala's in here. Cheryl.
Yes.
Rebecca Wolf.
Yes.
Richard Wallace.
No.
Tiffany Garriga, yes. The vote passes.
And the vote is,
The vote passes for the project of 75 North 7th Street with 4 votes out of 6,
4 votes yes, 2 votes no, 1 abstention.
including the mayor.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
A recusal.
A recusal.
Excuse me.
Yes, a recusal, not an abstention.
Moving on to the 708 State Street project. May I have a motion to move forward with the vote?
Let's so move.
May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? John Cody,
Yes.
Heather Campbell,
No.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Rebecca Wolf,
Yes.
Richard Wallace,
No.
Tiffany Garriga, yes. The pilot project passes with 4 yes, 2 no, and 1 recusal from the vote. Thank you all for joining us today. Is there anything else in new business?
No, Madam Chair, only to report that,
Can I have a-
oh yeah, we'll invite the mayor back in.
Attach the minutes at the beginning of the meeting.
Yes. Are there any questions from the public? Questions? Yeah, thank you. Right. So if there's,
The only report, Madam Chair, is that IDA member Rebecca Wolf had getting in touch with the consultants from Albany Law School, and our counsel, Chris Shell, had provided a draft contract for their review. And I would assume that at some future meeting, perhaps our regular meeting in October, we might be able to have a further discussion with the consultant about the policy matters that they were going to assist us with.
Rebecca, you have anything you would like to say behind that?
I'm sorry, I was just reading the chat. And so all I heard was that Mike was just reporting that I had passed along the contract that Chris Shale prepared to the consultants.
Yes.
Yes. I don't have anything else to report about that. Just that the consultants agreed that, as we discussed in our last meeting, that we wanted it to be in a timely fashion. And I think we decided 60 days. So, and they agreed that that would be doable.
Madam Chair, the only other issue on the chat, and we do apologize for the technology, I think we've experienced that at all these public meetings of late, was a question, what about the people who the mayor appointed to the board? I want to be clear on that matter. The mayor does not appoint any members to the board of the IDA. They are appointed by a resolution that was enacted by the city council. And the only person who's on the board who isn't here by statute or by regulation or by resolution by the office they hold is Mr. Wallace, who voted no.
Thank you for that clarification, just so no one feels that the communication hasn't been addressed. So with that being said, if there aren't any other questions from the board or any other new business, may I have a motion to adjourn? Please? Second.
You have a hand raised in the chat.
All right, hold on.
We didn't see it.
Thanks for helping us here.
Hello, it's Carol Ostrink, the Gossips of Rivertown. Could someone in a big outdoor voice repeat what the vote was, because it was impossible for any of us to hear?
Well, we're sorry.
We had 4 yes.
No, let Mike Tucker do it, because it's hard to hear your voice, Tiffany. I'm sorry.
Madam Chair, with your permission, the vote in connection. Hold on a second.
I have it written on my paper.
Yeah. The resolution on 708 State Street was passed. 4 votes yes, 2 votes no, and 1 recusal. The 2 no votes were City Treasurer and Richard Wallace. On 75 North 7th Street, the vote was 4 yes, 2 no, 1 recusal. Again, City Treasurer Heather Campbell and Richard Wallace were the no votes. Are there any further
Thank you very much.
clarifications or questions?
I would just like to say that we're very grateful for the IDA board. This was absolutely necessary, and it's a big step forward towards combating the housing crisis. So I commend you guys on the work that you've done on this.
And who is that speaking, please?
Claire Cousin
Okay.
from Hudson Catskill. Hudson
Blocked
Global.
by my chat, so sorry.
Yeah.
Right, so I believe we have a.
I'd just like to ask a question if that's okay. It's a technology question.
Yeah. How do we improve this?
No, I just like to know, is Zoom being recorded as well as this meeting, and are the chats included in the recording?
Yes.
I don't know about the chats in the recording, but I can certify to the chats, if we don't hang up right now, that the only 2 substantive chats were the ones I addressed. But,
And the rest of them, I can see they're telling us to.
the
speak
board
up
is
and
muted. They
mute.
are. Thanks. It's difficult to hear the mayor speaking. Please need to speak up. What did he say? He recused himself due to conflicts. I think this is important just to have this in the recording. Is the board, oh, we started that. Thanks all. What about the people who were appointed to the board by the mayor? They would need to recuse as well. Good point. It's impossible to hear Chris Shale or anyone else in the room. Please tell them to speak up. Please speak up. Thank you, IDA. Thanks. I don't see any other chats. Does anyone post a chat that hasn't been identified?
You missed a couple, Mike, that just, there's right after, what about all of the people who were appointed to the board by the mayor? Then there's one that says, yeah, hold on. They would need to recuse as well. Good point. That would be a good point if he in fact appointed them. He did not. Then please speak up. Then thank you, IDA.
Okay, thank you.
I have a motion to adjourn. We started it. Heather, may I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all, and
Opposed? Thank you.
thank you all for your public comments.
129, Lisa.
Michael, do you have a turtle or something that we could put out on the table?
Just a second, I can't.